What if I told you you could stand in the United States and still be south of Canada? That a church in Mexico sits on top of a buried pyramid older than most empires? That there are places in North America where water glows like stars and deserts sit below sea level while frozen mountains rise higher than clouds? We think we know this continent. We see borders, flags, modern cities, but beneath the map we recognize is a land far stranger than we were ever taught. A continent of hidden extremes, forgotten wonders, and truths buried in plain sight. This is North America before we fully understood it. North America defies logic. It's the only continent where you can travel from polar ice to tropical jungle without ever leaving the same landmass. In the north, Greenland sits locked in ice, a frozen giant resting on the North American tectonic plate. Yet its name, Greenland, was never meant to be accurate. It was marketing, a Viking trick, a promise of fertility hiding a frozen reality. Travel south and everything changes. Forests begin to breathe again. Rivers thaw. Grasslands stretch endlessly toward the horizon. And then, suddenly, the land burns. The deserts of the American Southwest rise like another planet, where temperatures climb so high that air itself seems to shimmer. Yet keep going, and the continent transforms once more. Rainforests, mangroves, Caribbean waters glowing at night. One continent, every climate on Earth. Not scattered across oceans, but stitched into one continuous story. When people hear the word pyramid, they think of Egypt. But the largest pyramid by volume on Earth isn't in Africa. It stands quietly in Cholula, Mexico. Or rather, it hides there. For centuries, jungle swallowed its shape. Trees grew where stones once rose. And when Spanish explorers arrived, they didn't see a monument. They saw a hill. So they did what conquerors often did. A church now stands where an ancient pyramid still sleeps beneath the soil. Layer upon layer of civilizations, faith built over memory. A sacred mountain pretending to be a hill. North America doesn't just hide history, it buries it. But not all its wonders are buried. Some reveal themselves only at night. In a quiet bay in Puerto Rico, the ocean comes alive. Dip your hand into the water, and suddenly it glows. Every ripple becomes light. Every movement leaves a trail like stardust. The cause is microscopic, tiny organisms that flash when disturbed. A defense mechanism, a warning. But to the human eye, it feels like touching the universe. In North America, even the darkness is alive. When people think of North America's greatest cities, they imagine New York, Los Angeles, Toronto. But the continent's most ancient megacity was built long before skyscrapers existed. Mexico City. Beneath its traffic and concrete lies Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec world. A city built on water, connected by causeways, alive with markets, temples, and canals. When Europeans arrived, they were stunned. It rivaled the greatest cities on Earth, at a time when many European capitals were still growing villages. But conquest erased the skyline, drained the lakes, buried the memory. And yet, the city never truly disappeared. It simply changed its skin. Look at a map of Canada from above. You'll notice something strange. Endless blue scars across the land. Millions of lakes. This wasn't design. It was aftermath. Thousands of years ago, ice ruled this continent. Glaciers miles thick crushed mountains, carved valleys, and gouged the earth like claws. When they finally retreated, they left behind hollows, and those hollows filled with water. Today, North America holds the majority of the world's lakes, a continent shaped not just by time, but by ice that refused to leave quietly. Even now, the land remembers the weight it once carried. Among those lakes lies a giant that feels almost mythical, Lake Superior. Standing on its shore doesn't feel like standing near a lake. It feels like the edge of an ocean. Storms rise without warning. Waves tower like coastal swells. The horizon disappears into endless blue. It is so vast, you cannot see the other side. In the heart of a continent, an inland sea breathes like an ocean, a reminder that North America is bigger than our expectations. North America also breaks the way we think about geography itself. Canada holds the longest coastline on Earth, not because of one ocean, but because of thousands of fractured edges. Islands, fjords, frozen inlets walk its entire coastline, and it would take decades. And then there's Alaska, a single state with more coastline than the rest of the United States combined, facing two oceans, touching the Arctic, a wilderness so vast it reshapes scale itself. On this continent, borders exist on maps, but the land refuses to stay inside them. Nowhere is North America's duality clearer than in its extremes. The tallest peak on the continent rises in Alaska. Denali, a mountain so high it punches into the jet stream. And far to the south, a place that sinks below the ocean itself, Death Valley, a basin so low, so hot, that standing there feels like standing on another planet. And in California, the contrast becomes surreal. You can drive from the lowest point in North America to one of the highest peaks in the lower 48 states in a single day. Winter and summer, ice and fire, separated by hours. This continent doesn't separate opposites, it stacks them. We think we know North America. We draw lines, name countries, build cities. But beneath the map, the continent tells a different story. Of pyramids hidden under churches, cities buried under cities, lakes carved by vanished ice, waters that glow like galaxies, a land of contradictions, of extremes, of secrets hiding in plain sight. And maybe the truth is this: we haven't fully discovered North America. We've only learned how to live on top of it. If this changed how you see the map in your mind, then you're already beginning to see deeper. Subscribe to Before America, where the story doesn't start with borders, it starts with the land itself. And the land still has stories left to tell.